Oh, you're Italian, so it must be so hard maintaining your physique without being able to eat pasta and pizza. How many times have I heard this? And my response is always that, like for every Italian, pasta, bread, and pizza are staples in my diet. But for some reason, when I say this, people think that I'm either lying or trying to sabotage their fitness regimen. But clearly, given the effort that I've put into making workout videos, I'd say that my motive is to help people with their fitness goals and not the other way around. Nevertheless, this time I'm not just gonna say that I eat pasta and pizza, but I will also tell you why and how to include white flour in your healthy living. So let me start from the easy part, which is why I eat pizza. Surely one shouldn't need any more reason than that pizza tastes so amazingly good. When I eat true Italian Napolitan pizza, I keep asking myself, how can it be so good? Real pizza is truly representative of that simple, healthy Mediterranean diet. Simple, fresh ingredients you can count on one hand. And that combination of carbs from the flour, acidity and sweetness from the tomato, the protein from the fresh mozzarella, and of course the fragrance of basil. Your taste buds obviously want more and more of that. Clearly, though, pizza has since been distorted from its original form and is now associated with unhealthy eating. You have chemically treated fortified flours, additives, poor quality cheeses, excessive sodium, and a whole array of unhealthy toppings. This is not pizza though. But having said that, there are still some more hardcore detractors of pizza who would argue that even when eating the traditional fire-baked pizza with its low raisin dough and the fresh tomato and the mozzarella, we are ingesting white flour, which is the evil enemy of any fitness savvies or health conscious. But is this true? Well, it has become widely accepted somehow that whole grain flour is healthier than white flour, and that in fact whole flour altogether is better than without. But I will give you 4 reasons to eat flour in general, and I will also focus on why you can have and you should have white flour. The first is tradition. Grains like wheat, but also rice and other sources of highly energetic carbs, such as potatoes, have been at the foundation of human civilization since the agricultural revolution. Now, saying that suddenly grains are bad for us seems a bit far-fetched, because evolution doesn't happen that fast. And this brings me to the second point. Why do we need flour, rice, bread, and so on in that particular form? Isn't this already too much processing? Surely the closer to natural, the better. Well, that's not entirely true. Precisely because evolution doesn't happen that fast. We have not evolved to feed off grains as they are. In fact, any vegetable with high content of cellulose, which is fiber, will be difficult for us to digest, even if rich in micronutrients. This is the reason we cook most vegetables and also why we process grains into flours. Unlike cows or herbivores with multiple stomachs, we don't have the digesting ability to eat fibrous green vegetables and grain effectively. And yet we like to have the readily available energy that they can provide. So here is the third reason. You could of course try to get the energy that you have in a cup of rice from broccoli, for example, but you would need a lot of broccoli, which, while broccoli are good for you thanks to their richness in minerals and vitamins, if eaten in excess, could start having the opposite effect in your intestine, hindering the nutrient absorption for the excess in fiber and upsetting your intestinal flora. Which brings me to the fourth and final point, which particularly favors white flour. Like I said before, we are incapable of digesting fiber. In fact, the bran in whole grain flour carries the anti-nutrient phytic acid, which binds to nutrients in the intestine and prevents them from being absorbed. Whole grains should therefore be soaked in vinegar or buttermilk in order to neutralize the phytic acid, and traditional preparations used to soak whole grains in acidic solutions. Or you can prepare it with sourdough, because the sourdough and the lactobacillus can also neutralize the phytic acid. Unfortunately, most whole grain bread on sale is not sourdough, and most whole grains consumed are not previously soaked. This means that by eating unprepared whole grain, you're simply upsetting your digestion and your guts. White flour, on the other hand, has most of the bran sifted away. While white flour doesn't provide many micronutrients on its own, it at least provides lots of energy without anti-nutrients. It is easy to digest and can be accompanied by a huge variety of nutrient-rich foods. So you can have, for example, rice with meat and veggie, and you'll have a protein, carb, and fats, and all the macronutrients in one package. And similarly with pasta, if you make it with a freshly made sauce, tomatoes or other vegetables, olive oil, meat, or cheese. Of course, many white flours nowadays are chemically treated, they're bleached and fortified with a variety of additives. So if you do decide to make your own sourdough bread at home, like I do, look for unbleached, organic, stone ground flour, and you should be okay. So once again, tradition and common sense have shown us the way to a balanced diet. Of course, fiber is good for your intestinal balance, but too much fiber is just as bad as no fiber. If we eat veggies, fruit, and correctly prepare the whole grain, these already supply us with sufficient fiber, so there's no need to overdo it. And remember, if you are trying to maintain an intense workout regime without carbs such as pasta, rice, and potatoes, you're probably putting your body through great stress in order to process all the excessive protein and vegetables that you need in order to achieve your needed caloric intake. And of course, you will end up at some point binging on some sugar or like bad carbs because of your carb starvation, which is definitely not good. So like always, common sense, balance, and variety are the key to success in nutrition, but also in general in life, of course. And when it comes to diet, it is also important to enjoy what you eat, because ultimately your vitality and your happiness and your well-being, they all come also from enjoying your life. So going back to the start, why do I eat pizza? Well, it is tasty and it makes me happy. Are you happy with your diet? Thank you for watching, and if you found this video informative, please consider supporting me on Patreon, where I do regular live streams where you can ask any questions, and also you can watch this content ad-free. And it helps me make more of this type of content. So thank you so much for your support.